If you've already pre-ordered Lightfall, you know you get early access to an exotic auto rifle called the Quicksilver Storm. Now, this gun will be releasing in Lightfall, but Bungie pretty much gave everyone access to it as long as you pre-ordered Lightfall. So in this video specifically, I'm going to be giving my PVE summary, how it feels in the Crucible, and generally my review on the weapon. But before we get into it, if you like what you see, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another one of these videos. So here it is, the Quicksilver Storm. I love the design of this thing right off the bat, honestly. But I'm here to talk about the perks. So its intrinsic trait, rocket tracers. Landing multiple hits turns your next shot into a homing micro rocket. So pretty much, as long as you hit consistent shots with this weapon on a target, it sends out a little homing missile. Pretty cool. Let's go over its other perks. Again, corkscrew rifling here. We have high caliber rounds, then hand-laid stock, and then its trait perk, grenade chaser. Landing multiple rockets loads a grenade. Press pretty much whatever your reload button is to switch into the grenade launcher mode, and it can hold up to 3 grenades, and you can kind of tell because this little yellow thing right here actually tells you how many grenades you have, but it pretty much loads it on the front, and then you can just shoot it and you can launch all 3 if you want. Again, you can turn it back to its regular firing mode. Again, it's pretty much an auto rifle mixed with a mini version of a rocket launcher on top of being a grenade launcher, and this is just an auto rifle. This is a primary kinetic weapon. I've already kind of mentioned how to obtain it, but if you want early access, all you have to do is pre-order Destiny 2 Lightfall. If you don't want to do that, again, you don't have to worry about it. If you want to wait to see how Lightfall performs and then you want to get Lightfall, then you can still get access to this auto rifle. First, I want to talk about PvE. Now, for an auto rifle, especially an exotic auto rifle, it is pretty effective. You know, I think there are still probably better exotic options, especially when it comes to our special weapons and heavy weapons, but this thing is not bad by any sense of the imagination. It's very consistent. If you hit those targets, you get to see that micro rocket come out. Again, that does pretty solid damage in my opinion for an auto rifle. And again, if you hit multiple targets, you get the grenade launcher portion of it, so you do get kind of a special weapon in this thing. So in general PvE activities, I do not mind using this thing at all. But when it comes to high-end activities, I wouldn't recommend it in my opinion. I know that, you know, auto rifles typically have some sort of champion mod during the season, whether it's anti-barrier or overload. I don't think this thing's really going to matter for either one of those things. Maybe overload more than anti-barrier, since I know a lot of people like to use Arbalist for, you know, high-end activities and stuff like that. Maybe for general, you know, nightfalls or activities with champions, you could put anti-barrier or overload on this thing. It really wouldn't matter since you can take those champions down fairly easy. But for things like the high-end activities, I would not recommend. You know, I do like the grenade launcher portion on this thing in general, being able to just launch that up, launch 3 of them, especially when there are majors around. It's pretty accurate. Honestly, it shoots fairly straight. Again, it is a grenade launcher, so it's not going to be like a straight rocket, as we all know. But again, its velocity on it is pretty good, so I really don't have a problem with this weapon in general. Again, like I said, I think it's pretty good in PvE just in general, but for high-end stuff, I would definitely stay away from it. Now I want to talk about the big ticket item here, PvP. The Crucible. Dave, how does this thing perform? Honestly, pretty good in my opinion. If you look at the stats here, one thing you will notice, stability is at 100%. This thing is very stable. There's not a lot of recoil with this thing. There's not a lot of, I would even say just like a reticle jump with this thing either. It is very consistent, and you can kind of you can feel it hit when those little micro rockets come out. Oh, it is so cool. Now, honestly, outside of just being a really consistent auto rifle with very good stats, the other things on top of it, you know, work fairly well. You know, things like high caliber rounds is something that's very useful in the Crucible, being able to flinch your target. The rocket chasers, again, that's just a tiny bonus. The grenade launcher thing I did find to be a small issue because, again, you have to be able to hit a target consistently enough for the rockets to hit to get the grenade. And whenever I had the grenade for the grenade launcher, you're going to have to queue it up and everything. But I find that having to use that over just the regular auto rifle function was kind of clunky. Maybe even a nuisance is probably the best word to put it, because I didn't find the grenade launcher as effective than just using the auto rifle with the micro rockets. And when you die, you lose all that stuff anyway. So again, there really isn't a huge point into trying to focus specifically on using the grenade launcher portion of this auto rifle. Other than that, like I said, it is very consistent. If you can get other, you know, perks activated with this thing, especially like high energy fire, being able to have that extra damage, that is going to be extremely helpful. In this gameplay that I got it from, I was using this with the Macabre Sniper, which I already done a review on. I thought that was a really good combo, but again, auto rifles with other weapons like fusion rifle, shotguns, those work very well too, but other than this gun just being a consistent machine, as long as you can hit your shots with this thing, you are not going to have an issue trying to use this auto rifle in the Crucible. Aim assist is 83. Like, I like the sight on this thing too. It's small. The red dot's small. There's not a lot of distractions. The reload speed is solid on it. The range is 50. It's pretty solid. Handling's 53. It's solid. If you add any of those auto rifle mods, you know, targeting, dexterity, handling, unflinching, if you add those mods onto this thing, it's just going to make it even better in the Crucible. So honestly, you should, if you like auto rifles, use this one. This is probably great in the right hands, especially with people who like using auto rifles. I would say the only potential downside is that it does take up the exotic slot, so if there is an exotic you want to use, you won't be able to use it because of this weapon, but honestly, I think it more than makes up for it. It's very, very consistent. Now for my overall rating, even though this thing is not extremely effective in high-end activities, I'd honestly give this thing a 9 out of 10. The design of it is cool. The sound design of this auto rifle is freaking cool, especially the animation when going into the grenade part. It turns the whole front into like its own little grenade launcher function. That is super cool. And again, obviously this is gonna be based on Lightfall. It's gonna be based on, you know, the city on Neptune, and we've already seen the other quote-unquote Guardians there. They're not Guardians, but you know what I mean, and their technology of morphing guns out of whatever material they're made of. I can't wait for the lore of that to come out, but overall I give this gun a 9 out of 10. Like I said, very consistent in PvP. PvE, good in general, maybe not for high end, but other than that, I love this thing. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is my thoughts on the Quicksilver Storm Exotic Auto-Rifle that will be coming in Lightfall. Like I mentioned, if you pre-order and get Lightfall, you will get access to this weapon early, but honestly, I won't worry about it. If you want to hold off, that is totally fine. The gun is not game-breaking like Telesto every season, so you do not have to worry about that. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you like what you saw, again, you can always drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then turn that bell next to notifications so you don't miss out on another one of these videos. Again, most of the time I am doing builds and weapon reviews and exotic reviews and all that great jazz. So again, if you do want to tune into the channel, that is the stuff I will be covering mainly on the Destiny front. Also, if you didn't know, we moved all of our live streaming stuff from Twitch to here on YouTube. Again, I play a variety of games, but I mainly play Destiny 2 here on the channel. Again, most of the time we are doing dungeon and raid carry, so if you do need help or a carry in whatever the pinnacle raid is for the week, whatever the pinnacle dungeon is, the stuff for Witch Queen, again, we can help you with that. So all you have to do is tune to the live stream, and if you want to be proactive, be sure to join my Discord. Again, that link will be in the description. We're mainly talking about Destiny 2, but there are a variety of other topics in there as well, like PC tech, anime, bunch of other stuff. Lastly, if you didn't know, we hit YouTube Partner here on the channel a couple months ago, which is freaking awesome. Again, it's given us access to a lot of cool things, one of those things being memberships. If you don't know what a membership is, essentially it is like a Twitch subscription. Again, you get access to exclusive things here on the channel, things like the monthly badges and emotes for the live streams, all that great jazz. There's more features on there as well, but if you want to look into joining as a member, all you have to do is press the join button next to subscribe, and it's going to give you all the details for that. But anyway, guys, that's the end of the video. Hope to catch you in the next one. Cheers.